my life just started to implode on itself. Because you're going to kill people. Stop. Okay? You're going to fail. What's up, y'all? It's Jayla here, and I'm back with another video. If you're new here, thank you for coming to watch it, girl. We talk about the nitty gritty, and I'll probably be giving y'all all the business. And if you're not new, you already know we get into some things, so let's jump into it. All right, y'all. So last video we talked about, 3 obstacles, and the question was, are you the only reason that's standing between you and your goals, right? And we talked about the obstacles and why you could be the reason standing between you and your goals. Now we're going to switch gears a little bit, and we're still talking about our self-growth and our goal setting and our dream lives and all these things, but we're going to deep dive into expectations, okay? Expectations. Our expectations, are you being let down by your own expectations, unrealistic expectations, self-imposed expectations? What's going on, right? So naturally, our expectations kind of set the tone for how we're feeling each day, right? If you expect to go to the coffee shop and get a good cup of coffee, and then you're let down by it, that now shapes the rest of your day. Are you upset? Are you mad? Sometimes that's an unrealistic expectation. Yes, you want a good cup of coffee, but is it the right thing to do to just put that expectation out there automatically? Because if it's not good, then you're let down by those things. Or just they go as far as career. Like you have set these expectations to where you are supposed to be somewhere at a specific point in all these things. Now, our expectations are part of our fulfillment in life and our dedication in life and all the things that we want to do. But our expectations can somewhat either help or hinder us. So we're going to get into 3 different things that are expectation based that could be the reason that is, deterring you from your self-growth and your goals and your dream life. And all these things could or could not be hindering you. So we'll see. Okay, so we're going to start with obviously having very high or unrealistic expectations, right? And what those cause, okay? Those cause stress, disappointment, anxiety. All these things can be caused by having these really high or unrealistic expectations. And I want to put something in here that this is a key point. Your goals are not unrealistic, okay? Your goals are not unrealistic. Your work ethic is, okay? Your work ethic is unrealistic. Your goal is achievable. Your goal, if you set your goal and you know that this is something to better your life, your goal is achievable. It's your work ethic behind it that's going to be unrealistic and why the goal seems farther and farther out, okay? So I want to make sure it's very clear that the goal is not unrealistic. The expectation of getting to the goal is unrealistic, okay? And the work ethic that you have to put behind getting to that goal is unrealistic. Sometimes when we're setting those extremely high or unrealistic expectations, we're setting ourselves up to be stressed out and disappointed, and anxiety creeps in, and all these things are happening because our mind is now trying to figure out a way to reach that. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, we can't do everything at one time. I'm a person that has so many hobbies and so many ideas and so many thoughts. And one of my biggest things was setting those expectations too high to think that I can do everything at one time. I can't. I am one human being. We all have the same amount of hours in the day. I can't do every single thing at one time. Sometimes you either have to focus on one big thing. Sometimes you have to focus on 2 or 3 small things. Sometimes you have to focus on nothing. And give yourself a moment to let your brain reset. But you are setting these high expectations and causing yourself to stress. And stressing is now, again, we're going to go back to our video just before this. You're now procrastinating, and you're having self-doubt, and you're doing all these because your body is going through, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Stress can show up in so many ways, but after you get through the stress, you're now also in disappointment. And your disappointment is going to be that it didn't turn out the way you wanted it to. The plan wasn't executed exactly how you thought it was. The path wasn't as crystal clear as you made it seem to yourself. And that means that those expectations that you are setting to get to where you want to go might be just a little unrealistic or a little high to achieve right there in that moment. You can do a lot of things, but you can't always expect that just because you set the expectation that high, that you can now just reach it that high immediately. It takes work. It takes time. It takes understanding. It takes patience. And it also takes passion and believing. You can't set a very high expectation, but don't really have the passion and belief behind it to say, you know what? I got this. You know what? I actually can do this, and this is how I'm going to do it, and break it down in order to understand your daily steps and your daily processes to understand where you're trying to get to. So that's our first thing. We just have these really high and unrealistic expectations that are causing us stress and disappointment and anxiety. And once our anxiety sets in, we get back to what? Our fear. If you watched the video before this, we talked about 3 major things. We've talked about fear, we talked about procrastination, and we talked about self-doubt. And all that anxiety is now doing is taking us back to our fear. Are we fearful of succeeding, or are we fearful of failing? And now our anxiety is in our mind going. What do I do? Should I just stop? Should I not stop? Should I try to keep going? Am I good enough to do it? All those things are setting in because you're setting these expectations. It's not the goal. The goal is achievable. I'm going to keep saying it. The goal is achievable. The expectation is not. The high unrealistic expectation is where you turn left off the road. You go into a dead end. You're not even going down the road no more. You're going into a dead end because you are causing too many things to happen at one time. That moves us into number 2. Now we have social media, okay? Our daunting social media. And for us content creators, I would bet anybody that if you're a content creator, although you love it as far as creating your content, you're not the hugest fan of social media. I'm the first one to say it. I'm not the hugest fan of social media. And why? Is because this is a big hindrance in setting these goals, these unrealistic goals. Our social medias nowadays are imposing these life changes and everything and how life should be in a very unrealistic way. And the issue is that on social media, it is created and curated to make it seem like somebody's life is a certain way that it really might not be. You know what I'm saying? So now you're so busy trying to play keep up with A, B, and C because this is how their life looks, when in all reality, the background of that is a lot different. It's easy to post a video and make it seem how you want to, but is that your day-to-day life? So now you're setting unrealistic expectations to keep up with people that unfortunately aren't 100% showing you day in and day out of a life and how to get to where you want to get to. You are set with, oh, just do this, this, and this, and you'll blow up. Oh, just do this, this, and this, and you'll have the best body. Do this, this, and this, and you'll have the best this or the best that, or you'll be able to buy this or buy that. It's not always as easy as a 1, 2, 3 step. It takes work. It takes ethic. It takes understanding. It takes knowledge. It takes asking for help, looking for the help. It takes all of these things. And not just looking at an Instagram video and saying, oh, well, if they did it that way, I can do it that way. Because now you're setting an expectation for yourself, and the reality of it is you're not that person. You are you. So now you have to figure out a way. If that's your goal, that's fine. But get to your goal in your way. Get to your goal the way that it will work for you. Not the way that it worked for the next person, because who knows what setup she had or he had to begin with to get you there, to get them there. You might not have that setup, but because they don't explain the setup that they have, you're thinking that they're just one thing is so achievable so quickly, so fast, without any work behind it. Oh, just post. That's the favorite line of, oh, just post, just start. When in all reality, it's not true. Yes, you can start posting, but there needs to be marketing and understanding behind it. There needs to be knowledge behind it. There needs to be, okay, what is the best way for me to post? How can I post? How can I market myself? What am I doing differently from the next 10,000 people out there? What is going to be the difference? So now you're stuck with these expectations of social media telling you how to live your life. Stop. Okay? Social media can be very helpful or very hindering. And not only that, what we don't realize is sometimes those expectations are so deep into us, and we're not even realizing it, that they're now affecting our well-being and our mental health and all of these things, because we're not setting a realistic expectation of, yes, this person on social media might be doing this in this moment because they have this, or this. I would like to get there, but these are my steps that I have to take to get there. Not, oh, I just started posting, so it happened. Oh, I just started doing whatever, so I'm going to be just like them. And that's the next thing. You need to get out of feeling like you need to be just like the next person. Be like you. If you have an idea or a goal or a want that you want for yourself, that's perfectly fine. And if there's somebody else in the world doing it, that's perfectly fine. But if because the next person is doing it is why you have to do it, you're going to fail. Your passion and your goals and your wants can't be driven by just because X, Y, or Z did it. It has to be because you want to do it. It has to be because you see it. It has to be because you have a passion and a love and a want for it. Just because your friend's a doctor and a heart surgeon does not mean that you need to just go be a heart surgeon. Why? Because you're going to kill people. Because you don't have the passion behind, I want to save lives, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a heart surgeon. No. If you're driven by, oh, well, my friend can do it, so I can do it. Okay. Your friend can jump up and down, so can you. But that doesn't mean that you need to be jumping up and down just because they do it. There are so many different ways in life to get to your goals and the things that you want to do, but set a realistic path for yourself. Set a path that allows you to align your goals yourself, not because social media and the people and how they curate their lives on there are telling you to do it. I'm doing a lot of self-help and self-growth videos because I'm on this journey as well. Not to just tell you how to do it, but things to start implementing in your life daily in order to start reaching those goals. I had to reconfigure the way I looked at a lot of things in order to start seeing the growth on things that I wanted. And that came with looking for the knowledge and seeking it out and looking for the help. That came from doing my research. That came from understanding and starting to implement things and seeing how they work or don't work, or what society and family and all these things are putting into our lives. And that also means family, not just social media. Your family puts unrealistic expectations on you of what they want, of what they think is best. And that might not align with what you want. Everything can be, you can have as many goals as you want, but things have to align together. You can't reach your goal by doing exactly what your family wants you to do. You are causing yourself to be unhappy. You are causing yourself to be stressed. You are causing yourself to be anxiety driven and disappointed and unfulfilled because you are trying to make a path out of somebody else's path. I've done it. I've seen how much my life just started to implode on itself in every way, shape, and form because I tried to follow somebody else's path. And I'm here to tell you it does not work. You have to believe in yourself. You have to trust in yourself, and you have to do it for yourself. Everybody's not going to agree. Everybody's not going to like it. But your goal is your goal for a reason. And as you start to reach those goals and get closer to the goals, you are going to start aligning with people that are having those same kind of goals and having those same kind of visions. And those are the people that you'll start connecting with. But sometimes those unrealistic expectations are set by our family and social media and the things that everybody else says and not what you actually think. They're changing what you think because they make it look good. But that's not really what you want. It's just what you see and how everybody makes it look so easy. But that moves us into number 3. We have managing expectations effectively, okay? There is a such thing as healthy and unhealthy expectations, okay? Your healthy ones are pushing you to grow. pushing you to do better, pushing you to work harder every day, change up how you do things, pushing yourself to sometimes be uncomfortable when you just want to be comfortable. Those are your healthy expectations, okay? Those are the things that you're going to start to see improvement in your daily life in. Then you have unhealthy ones. And unhealthy, again, goes back to these unrealistic and highly unachievable expectations. And those are the ones that start to make you feel inadequate. They make you feel like a failure. They make you feel like you haven't done enough. They make you feel like you're not good enough. They make you feel like, oh, and all that self-doubt creeps in. Because the expectation, again, is unhealthy and unrealistic, okay? We have to understand that we live life to be happy and do what we want and be comfortable and all of these things. But those unhealthy expectations and not managing them and not distinguishing where they're coming from is now going to put you in a spiral of disappointment, inadequacy, feeling of failure, anxiety and stress, and all of these things are now put into a pot to stir and stir and stir and stir and stir. And now you're now affecting yourself mentally and emotionally and physically because you are putting this weight on your shoulders. A lot of times we talk about how, the weight lifted off my shoulders, when a lot of times, sometimes we're putting the weight on our shoulders. It's our head that is heavy because we are putting so much on it. You're putting so much on yourself at one time. There is a real thing, and that's burnout. Burnout happens for everybody. When you put yourself through too much at one time, you have to learn to manage effectively. Those healthy goals, you're going to see the improvement because you're setting them up in a way that you can effectively manage how to do them. The expectation isn't unrealistic because you can actually see it working. You can actually see how to step by step do it. You can actually focus. When it's unhealthy, it causes no focus. It causes you to stop. It causes you to not understand. It causes you to think and go through all these different things because you're mentally and emotionally just in an uproar. You're fighting. You're fighting back and forth and you're not knowing what to do. So learning how to effectively manage them, but also distinguishing where they come from. Where are these issues? Where are these expectations and issues coming from? Are they coming from social media? Are you too attached to the people on social media? You might want to take a step back. Are they coming from family? And knowing that, this is what my family does. This is what my family does. This is what my family's saying. You might want to take a step back. Are they coming from your own self-imposed feelings and you just saying like, I just have to do everything at one time? You might have to take a step back and understanding that sometimes backtracking isn't a bad thing. Backtracking could put you in a place of, okay, how can I more effectively plan this? What's plan A to go to plan B to go to plan C? Not how am I going to do A, B, and C at the same time. Get there. Be where your feet are. Be where your feet are and not where your feet want to be. Sometimes you can't always operate in what you want farther down the line. Sometimes you have to be where you are and understand where you are and learn how to get yourself out of there and keep moving forward. You can start taking the steps and continuing to be where your feet are, but that doesn't mean that you have to be where your feet are and think about how to just make it look like the goal is accomplished. No. You have more growth and being honest and truthful and being in your goal. Being in your goal, being who you are, showing your strength and how you're working through it, than just showing the end goal. The end goal is great. I'm happy that you get there. I'm happy when I get to my goals. But at the end of the day, the journey of getting there is what's going to be the major difference. We set, because the world sets unrealistic expectations, we now set unrealistic expectations, and we have to learn how to dig our way out of that. We have to learn how to get out of that. We have to learn how to understand that that is a shield put over our eyes, that until we learn to see through it, we're not going to understand why we're not improving. We're not going to understand why our self-growth is halted and stopped and feel like we're failing and feel like we can't do it. And at the end of the day, all of these things are going to come with practice and time and hope and actually feeling everything that you have to feel. It all comes with it. But knowing that those expectations can truly hinder or help you is going to be another good step and great step, honestly, to push you towards those goals. Push you towards those end results, because it's about choosing the path, but choosing the path that aligns with what your goals are, not with what social media's goals are, or your family's goals are, or the outside of you goals are. And that's just that. We have to learn what our expectations are. Are they unrealistic? Are they unhealthy? Where are they coming from? And what can I do to help set healthy, manageable goals and expectations? Okay? So that's the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching. Love you. Bye.